Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast News with the Sentinel. I am Moinita. And here are the top stories in today morning's The Sentinel. First, it's about the comorbidity deaths, which has surpassed the COVID death toll. Till September 8, the COVID toll in the state has been at 378. However, during the period, 650 other COVID patients also died in the state due to other ailments. The committee, headed by the Director of Medical Education and formed in accordance with the ICMR guidelines, does not count these 650 deaths with with the COVID death toll. The committee takes decisions on COVID and non-COVID deaths based on patients' history of ailments. The disposal of the mortal remains of COVID-19 patients is another cause of concern in the state. However, to ease the situation, the State Health and Family Welfare Department has taken a decision in the event of family members not receiving bodies of the COVID-19 patients, or if they don't have the wherewithal for cremation or burial of such bodies, the department will pay 5,000 rupees to the district administration against each such body for cremation or burials. In fact, yesterday the state government, the Assam government, had also announced a new set of protocols for quarantining travelers. There were a new set of rules which were announced yesterday regarding quarantine, and these are the rules which would now be effective in the state. One of the rules says that if you go out of Assam and return back within 96 hours, then you will not have to undergo 10-day quarantine, but you'll have to go through the rapid antigen test. If your test results are negative, then certain rules are to be followed. Similarly, you'll also have to go for RT-PCR tests and stay in isolation till the results are out. So all those details, including the details regarding how to get the 5,000 rupees for cremation of dead bodies and why the decision was taken, all of these details are there in our stories in our website, sentinelasam.com. Now, the other big story, of course, is about about COVID. Now, at least 10 bodies of COVID-19 victims line up every day at the crematorium at Ulubari in Guwahati. However, this scene does not seem enough to make them mere mortal beings in Guwahati or elsewhere in the state to gaze how serious the pandemic is. Now, this is something that we have been talking about here in the Sentinel. We have been highlighting this particular fact that the situation is actually very critical. The numbers are rising, whether it's the number of positive cases or the number of deaths. And given the fact that the infrastructure, the health infrastructure or the infrastructure to handle the dead bodies is concerned, it is absolutely stressed to the limit. They just do not have much capacity left. In fact, as far as the Guwahati crematoriums are concerned, the electric crematorium is not functional. Therefore, the entire load on two of the crematoriums here in Guwahati, that is a big worry. In fact, the doctors in the hospitals are highlighting that the morgues might soon run out of space. That is another cause of concern. And the biggest cause of concern is hospitals, be it the government hospitals or the private hospitals, running out of beds for COVID patients. Please do not forget that there are non-COVID patients too, that doctors and hospitals need to take care of. Therefore, the state government has been time and again pointing out, repeating that please be careful, wear the mask, maintain social distance, do not move out of your homes unless it is really, really necessary. And of course, if you're not feeling well, go for the test and do as your doctors say, follow the COVID protocol. Now, this particular news here in today morning's The Sentinel is also talking about the same thing, how the infrastructure is totally stressed and the limits are the capacities almost touching the saturation point there. So meanwhile, the total number of positive cases in the state stands at 1,38,339. 29,577 are the number of active cases. The number of discharged people, the count there is 1,08,329 and 430 people have died. Now, these are only the COVID deaths. Like I just now read out the other deaths which are also happening, most of them because of COVID related, maybe because of the comorbidities that these patients had, or maybe the complications that arise after you test COVID negative. The number there is 650. The health minister had earlier said that there could be 1,000 deaths already happening, and now the numbers are actually pointing at that particular figure. In fact, it has already crossed the 1,000 figure as far as the death toll in the state is concerned. Moving on to other news, laying emphasis on the need to impart learning in a language that a student understands, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday asked students to engage in critical thinking and study new things. The Prime Minister said that the new mantra for new age learning is engage, explore, experience, express, and excel. He was speaking at a two-day conclave on school education in 21st century under the new national education policy. The Prime Minister further said that we have to take students forward in the 21st century with skills of critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, curiosity, and communication. Now, the political scene ahead of the Assam elections seems to be heating up in Assam. The race to form regional political parties is on, of course, the biggest one. All eyes are on this particular one, the regional political party that is going to be announced by ASU and AJYCP. They had held a meeting and a press conference yesterday as well. And the ASU and AJYCP, they formally announced that they would be launching a regional political party with the sole motto Assam first, always and ever. Making the formal announcement during a joint press conference held here on Friday, the ASU and AJYCP leaders also made the report of the 16-member advisory panel public. The panel was constituted to chalk out a future roadmap for the ASU and AJYCP on social, economic, education, and political issues. The advisory panel, comprising of eminent personalities from different fields, has suggested the floating of a political party completely based on regional ideals and aspirations of the people of Assam. The fundamental principle of the new political party, according to the advisory panel, will be the historic Assam Accord and the report of the Classics Committee, constituted by the Centre to exclusively safeguard land, political, social, and cultural rights of the indigenous people of the state of Assam. Now, what we are hearing is that the announcement of the political party is likely to be made during the ASU convention, which is slated for later this year. Now, the KMSS, the Krishak Mukti Sangram Samiti leader Akhil Gogoi has been saying that every force, every regional force needs to come together, and it should be one political party, one constitution, and one flag. Only then it would be a strong force to dethrone BJP and also give a tough fight both to BJP and its allies, as well as the Congress and the AIUDF in the upcoming Assam elections slated for next year. Now, of course, it remains to be seen how ASU and AJYCP responds to what the KMSS leader has been saying. Now, here's some good news for all the 1,600 candidates who were selected for appointment to the 200 additional foreigner tribunals in the state. Now, they of course have a reason to heave a sigh of relief as the state government has extended the validity of their selection list for another year. The validity of the list was supposed to expire on September 17th. That is just a few days from now. The state government notified the 200 additional FTs in the state after receiving approval from the Union Ministry of Home Affairs in 2019. Following the nod from the MHA, the state government had selected 1,600 candidates for appointment to the 200 additional foreigners tribunals. The Assam Police Recruitment Board conducted the examinations and interviews for the recruitment and prepared the panel list of 1,600 candidates. But of course, due to some technicalities, the 200 FTs uh, have not yet been made functional, and the appointments are awaited. It did become a major cause of concern for all those candidates, and they were really fearing that uh, the list would have expired on September 17th, and they would have been rendered absolutely jobless. But now at least there is that ray of hope that they might get appointed very soon. And we really hope so. In fact, we had highlighted this particular cause uh, in sentinelassam.com, and you can visit our Facebook, YouTube pages there and access the video where we had carried this particular story. The concerns, the worry, the anguish amongst the candidates who are still awaiting appointment, and because they were some of the people who had made it to the merit list and was awaiting appointment to any of the 200 foreigners tribunals. Now, moving on to news from the other northeastern states. First, of course, it is about the railway connectivity that the government has been talking about. The Indian Railways are working on connecting capitals of all northeastern states and also executing a project to link up with Bangladesh's railway networks to facilitate communication with other parts of India via the neighboring country, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal said on Friday. With the centre's focus on all-round development of the region through better linkages, the Northeast Frontier Railways had already connected Assam's main city, Guwahati, adjoining capital Dispur, Tripura's capital Agartala, and Arunachal Pradesh's Itanagar. A 12-kilometer long Agartala Akhora, which is in Bangladesh, railway project is now under execution to link Tripura's railway network with Bangladesh's railway network. Once the project is completed, the distance between Tripura and Kolkata would be reduced by 1,100 kilometers. That is what the Union Railways Minister, Mr. Goyal, said. He was addressing the foundation laying ceremony of the Special Economic Zone in southern Tripura from New Delhi through video conferencing. Goyal also is our Union Commerce and Industry Minister, and he said that as part of the initiative towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, a new item would be chosen in each district and would be developed with all-out efforts before being marketed in India and abroad. The SEZ is being set up at Paschim Jalefa near Sabroom town in southern Tripura, 130 kilometers south of Agartala, but only 72 kilometers from Bangladesh's Chittagong port. Now, a lot being done by the government to give a boost to the trade, economy, and commerce of the region. Now, here is what Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu did to meet his people in his constituency. In fact, he has been doing the rounds of his constituency, Mukto, and he, in fact, climbed mountains and walked through forest areas to meet a nomadic tribe in a remote village of his constituency, Mukto, in Tawang district. He trekked for 11 hours at a height of 14,500 feet to cover a distance of over 24 kilometers to reach Luguthang village and After reaching Tawang, this is the tweet that he shared after reaching Tawang. And he said it was an arduous journey while crossing Karkula, which is at 16,000 feet, to Luguthang. Luguthang is at 14,500 feet. Khan tweeted after returning to Tawang on Thursday. In fact, this particular family, the nomadic village Luguthang, has only about 50 people and 10 households. But that is the dedication of the chief minister and the love he has for his people of his constituency. He trekked, he crossed forests to meet his people, take care of them, know what their concerns are. And now, other stories from the states. Let me give you a quick update on the COVID situation in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. The caseload in the state has gone up to 5,672 as 127 more people, including 14 security personnel, tested positive for the virus on Friday. Of the fresh cases, Capital Complex region reported the highest at 57, followed by Papumpare, 18 cases reported from that particular area. East Siang reported 12 new cases. Lower Subansiri reported another 11 cases. Lower Dibang Valley, 10 cases. Upper Siang, 5. And Lohit, 4. This is what the officials have informed about the number of new cases being reported in Arunachal Pradesh on Friday. The total number of positive cases has gone up to 5,672. In Meghalaya, the state has reported 4 more COVID deaths. 151 person tested positive on Friday. Now the active cases in the state of Meghalaya stands at 1,534. In East Khasi Hills district, 98 new cases were reported, 41 from the armed forces, the paramilitary and armed forces, and 57 are other civilian cases. That is the update from the state of Meghalaya as far as the COVID situation in the state is concerned. And that is, of course, staying on with news from Meghalaya. The Minister of Social Welfare, Kirman Shila, today launched the state Nasha Mukt. In fact, today, as in yesterday, because I'm reading out from the newspaper, launched the state Nasha Mukt Bharat campaign at the Yojana Bhavan main secretariat in Shillong. The campaign, formulated by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, aims to curb the menace of drug addiction in the society. Now, there was a report published as well, and as per the report published on the magnitude of substance abuse in India 2019, Meghalaya's current users of alcohol is 3.4%, cannabis 1.68%, opioid 6.34%, sedatives 0.95%, cocaine 0.05%, and inhalants, the users percentage is 0.8. The district of East Khasi Hills, West Jaintia Hills, West Garo Hills, and South Garo Hills have been identified as the districts most vulnerable in terms of substance or drug abuse. In fact, this has been a major concern for the government of Meghalaya, for the people of Meghalaya. But this fact that substance abuse, use of drugs, is not just limited to Meghalaya. Many other northeastern states has the same problem, and in fact, we have been reporting about the influx of drugs and yaba tablets into the region from Myanmar and other parts of from other parts of the neighboring states. Mizoram is one entry point, Manipur has been another entry point, and Meghalaya, of course, is another entry point. Assam also a hub, in fact, fast becoming a hub of drugs and drug movement and trafficking. Well, viewers, that's all that I have at this point of time. News and updates continue in sentinelassam.com. Do not forget to log in and stay updated. Do find us in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Till we meet again, take care, stay safe. Goodbye.